Okay, we're halfway there and I'm living on a prayer that this pink duo is going to be good. Hi, welcome, I'm Hannah, and I just got my Give Me Glow Cosmetics Pastel Dreams palette in the mail. So excited. I actually opened it up and I saw how pretty this box was and I was like, please don't tell me that this is a situation where like the box is gorgeous and then the palette is boring, but exactly the same. I love these colors, it's so pretty. This is the palette. I'm really excited about it. I like pastels. I'm a big fan of the Give Me Glow formula. I did a video a couple months ago swatching all of the singles that I have, so I'll link that down below. But I'm really excited about this. I was pretty pumped when they announced it, and then even more pumped when I asked on Instagram if the pans are magnetic, and they are. I feel like indie brands are absolutely killing it with magnetic pans because I love my single shadow collection, and as much as I like this palette, I know that any shadow in my collection at this point will get more use if I can mix it in with my single shadows and make my own color stories and everything like that. So that's really cool. I think I will make a future video making different looks with this. If you like the sound of that, let me know down below. But for today, I want to swatch these on my eye, and I kind of want to swatch them like the purple matte on the outside and then use like the shimmer on the inside, kind of like making 6 different looks with it, you know? That way we can test out the formula, we can see how the colors work together. I really like that about this because I feel like nowadays especially, the more simple looks are becoming very popular. And while I still like the more wild, different colors all over kind of looks, I like how this is so like easy and it has like the corresponding shimmer and matte for each color. So that's how I'm going to try it out today. If you like this kind of thing, if you like indie shadows, I would really appreciate it if you give me a like and subscribed for more. There's way more to come and way more like kind of using what I have and playing with my single shadow collection. And let's hop into me trying these out on my eyes. I put on lip gloss because I was feeling a little bit too barefaced. Usually I put on more of like my base makeup when I do this. Hopefully I won't hate myself in editing for not doing that today. So first I'm going to start with this purple duo. The matte is called La La Land. I guess I'll swatch these out as I go. So the matte is La La Land and the shimmer is Lavender Sky. That shimmer feels like really nice and chunky. Matte looks a little bit sheer in the swatch. That can be okay too. I feel like these kind of like pastel neons can be like a little bit hit or miss in various formulas. That there's other formulas like the Terra Moons ones. I find the neons to be like absolutely crumbly and they just like wither away to nothing. So I'll take a shadow that needs to be built up over a shadow that's going to like crumble away to nothing the second that I start blending, you know? The shimmer is called Lavender Sky, and I'm really excited about this. That's a really nice purple. It feels kind of like really thick and foily. I don't know if I'm describing that the right way, but I like the feeling of it. I like shimmers that are more substantial, and I love how like reflecting that is. I love how like it's like more of an intense purple from this angle, but more of like a silvery lavender from the front. Ooh, so excited. I don't know if I said this already, but I have a little bit of concealer on my eyelid and that's it. And I'm going to take La La Land on this like old Morphe kind of flat shader brush. So it does seem pretty powdery as I'm blending it, but like the pigment is definitely there, and I like it. If I'm being picky, it's kind of doing that thing that sometimes happens with shadows where like the part on the lid is definitely more bright, and then the part in the crease that I might have blended a little bit more, it's for some reason darker. I don't know why it would be like that, but I definitely try to not be like a makeup perfectionist, so this isn't something that I foresee bothering me too much. But I know for some other people this might be an issue, so I guess we'll see if other shadows do this. But as I'm saying, like, especially with these kind of pastel neons, I give them a break a little bit as long as they can build up to pigment. So this I'm fine with. I'm gonna go into Lavender Sky with my Real Techniques shader brush. Alright, so it picks up alright on the brush, but I don't think it's giving me that like same pigment as the swatch. Yeah, definitely not. I'm gonna try tapping over it with my finger. I generally do apply shimmers with my finger unless I'm doing some kind of like really detailed thing where I need to like get exactly in there. Yeah, you can see already how much more pigmented it is with my finger. Maybe a wet brush would do that too, but I don't usually do the wet brush. Okay, pretty, I like this. Yeah, and you can see just like with the swatch that it's darker in some lights and it's more silvery in other lights. So this is the first two purple shades, La La Land and Lavender Sky. Next up is our little blue duo. I love me a good blue. We have Queen of the Clouds is the matte, and the shimmer is Peekaboo. Here's Queen of the Clouds. And then Peekaboo feels like that same kind of thick, almost like gummy formula. Really pretty. I'm a little nervous that Queen of the Clouds is going to be like a little bit too like pastel that's going to blend away, but we'll see. I would have thought that this would have like be a little bit deeper maybe. This looks pretty nice so far. Okay. If I'm being very nitpicky, I think the blue kind of has that varying depth problem also, but I don't think it's as much as the purple. I don't know. I'm gonna go into Peekaboo. I think this one did pick up on the brush better than the lavender shimmer did. Yeah, I think this would be like acceptable for me for an eye look. Like it's enough kind of like va va voom for me, but I'm gonna tap over it with a finger anyway. Yeah, it does still make it more frosty and intense. I really like this. I'm just really into like blue eyeshadow lately, and I could see this, like I would do it like a little bit neater, but this could be a look. I mean, I think any of these will be able to be a look, but you know what I mean. Next up is the peachy duo. We have Twinkle Twinkle and Peach for the Stars. Part of me wishes that this peach shimmer was a little bit more intense, like to match with the intensity of the matte, or if they wanted to go the other route and make these kind of two more like wearable colors, they could have dulled down this peach a little bit. I really love the formula of these shimmers though, and on my finger it actually does look more intense than I thought it was in the pan. Alright, that might be like an incredible shade. There's Twinkle Twinkle, looks a little sheer, but it's okay if we could build it up and it maintains its pigment. And we have Peach for the Stars. Okay, I actually am really excited about this. I take back everything I said. I think that this is actually going to be like one of the most unique colors in my collection. Also, by the way, I'm thinking about doing some kind of like trying to dupe this palette with the shadows that I have video. Maybe I'll do that soon. Let me know what you think. I guess this is a little bit more of a weird shade to me because I feel like when I pull back, I can kind of see that like neon aspect of it. But more close up, it's very light. Let me try to adjust my light actually. So if I lower the light, no, I think it's still pretty similar to my skin tone. This one also, I think you can really see immediately that it's more orange around the edges. It's lighter in the outer V. Yeah, and because it's so light on the outer V, I think those like differences around the edges are a lot more noticeable. So far, this is my least favorite shade quality-wise. Peach for the Stars, I'm still so excited for though. Okay, let's see on the brush. Alright, it's alright and pretty and soft on the brush. With the finger, it's really pretty. Alright, I think that's interesting too, because I think that in the palette, as I was saying a minute ago, the matte looks so much more intense than the shimmer. And I think on the eye, it's the opposite. Because this, it's not that. That's kind of disappointing. Yeah, this looks like a light cantaloupe shade to me, not this like intense neon corally orange that you would think it is based in the pan. But Peach for the Stars, I'm actually like pretty pleasantly surprised with. So I guess these have been like the biggest wild card thus far. Okay, we're halfway there and I'm living on a prayer that this pink duo is going to be good. The matte is called Pink Rain and the shimmer's called Daydream. This is actually one of the shadows that I feel like I have a similar Give Me Glow to. I'll swatch that afterwards. I think I have a similar one to this and to this that I'll compare after we go through the palette. Pink Rain almost felt softer than other ones. Let's see, that's Pink Rain, and this is Daydream. That's so shiny. Wow. That's such a pretty color. All of these shimmers are so good. That's funny. I feel like I kind of expect less out of light pastel neons, but doesn't this one look like the most kind of even of all of the mattes that I've tried so far? Try to blend it a little bit more. Like, I think because of the lightness, it does look a little chalky. Yeah, maybe it's blending away a little bit right there. See if I can build that up. It's like ever so slightly darker pink around the outskirts, but I think this one all in all is pretty good. Yeah, let's see about Daydream. Looks soft and acceptable with the brush. Okay, I think this one looks really nice. I'm not like off the bat so excited about it just because I kind of feel like shimmery light pinks are a dime a dozen, but it works and it's nice. Yeah, no complaints. That peach shimmer though, I'm still eyeballing that one. Whew. I do like how they made it kind of like checkerboard with mattes instead of it being like row of mattes, row of shimmer, row of mattes, row of shimmers. That they kind of like, you know, switched it in the middle to have the matte shimmer, you know what I mean? I like that. Let's move on to the Mint Duo. The matte is Magic Mint, and the shimmer is Too High for this. Magic Mint. Too high for this. On first swatch impression, this shimmer impresses me less than any of the other shimmers, but we'll see how that works in the eye. Sometimes swatches can be deceiving. So this one's super bright and doesn't seem to be giving me any of that change in color. So that's kind of cool, right? I feel like this is the one color that is like 0% varying color. For the shimmer, I kind of don't know why I'm still bothering the brush, but been doing it this long. This one's very powdery with the brush. Wow, that like spat so much more powder over my eye region than any of the other ones did. Huh. Yeah, it definitely doesn't feel as like gummy and soft as the other metallics. I think it looks fine, but I'm not particularly impressed with that shimmer. Interesting. And last up we have the yellows. The matte is called It's So Fluffy, and the shimmer is called Rise and Shine. These look pretty saturated. I was nervous that the yellows like weren't gonna have enough of a punch, that they would be like too pastel. That looks really nice. Wow, and that actually might be more similar to the Give Me Glow yellow shimmer single that I already have than I was expecting. Cool. This one really has great pigment. It might be a little bit chalky, but like, I don't think these shades can be perfect shades, if you know what I mean. Cool. Shimmer's okay with the brush. Really intense with the finger. Wow. I feel like this yellow shimmer is not a pastel at all, and that's totally okay with me. Yeah, I'm honestly surprised at how intense this yellow section is. Huh. I think I'm going to pop on a base and try to look like a normal person, and then come back for those couple comparison swatches and my thoughts. This is actually kind of a look, and I'm here for it. And that brings me to the first thing that I like about this palette, and I like how it's laid out in a way that's very user-friendly. I think it's always easier to create a look when you have like corresponding shadows, and I just love the concept and the execution of having a corresponding matte and shimmer in each color. I feel like all the similar palettes I can think of are ones that were predominantly matte. There's the Strobe or Shroud Cosmetics, I don't know what they're going by now. I know they're going through all their drama, so I don't even think you could get the Creepy Cute palette at this point, but I got it when it came out and I've since depotted it. That one I like, but it is an all matte palette. I probably will do some more comparison swatches with that when I try to dupe this with my single shadows. I also came to mind, I guess this one's a lot less pastel, but I was thinking about the Sugar Pill Fun Size palette, which is also an all matte palette. I also have, I don't purchase from Jeffree Star anymore, but I have the Jawbreaker palette, and I was thinking about this too because I feel like it has some of those kind of like neon pastels, but this palette is such like a clusterfuck that like you look at this and it's just like a rainbow palette that's doesn't like guide you towards a look, you know what I mean? So I feel like this one is very approachable. There's two shadows I wanted to compare to Give Me Glow shadows that I have. There's Daydream and Rise and Shine, because I'll do this on my palm. Daydream, Rise and Shine. And the ones I wanted to compare it to is Princess Pink and Going Bananas. In the pans, it looks like these swatches came from this, doesn't it? So we have Princess Pink and Going Bananas. I think the pinks are like really spot on. Like if they were to release these as singles and you have this, I wouldn't say there's any point of buying this. Maybe this one's like a little bit more warm toned and this one's a little bit more cool toned, but I would think on the eye you're gonna get like the same look. With these, I think I actually prefer the one from the Pastel Dreams palette. It seems like a little bit more reflective, but I also think this one leans a little bit more green and Going Bananas is a little bit more golden. So for my thoughts for the quality of this palette, when it comes to the mattes, I'll say that if you've tried other kind of like pastel-y neon formulas, I'm kind of saying the words together because I kind of think they are one of the same. In my experience, most of them aren't very pigmented. You can only really kind of tap them on, and if you blend it all, it'll blend away. I'm thinking mostly of the Terra Moons ones because those are the ones I've tried the most recently, but in my experience, any kind of ones that I've tried one off of or anything have been like that. So when you keep that in mind, I think these are very good for pastels or neons. I think if you're expecting these to perform in the same way that any old regular shadow does, you will be disappointed because these kinds of shades just don't perform that well in my experience. And my one exception for saying that they're pretty good for what they are is this Twinkle Twinkle that I just found was too light and the variance in color was kind of too much. But I did really like all of the other mattes in here. For the shimmers, I thought they were good. I think that I might even like the formula of these a little bit better than the single shadows that I have. I found these to be more creamy than those, and I really like that. My one exception for that was this minty shade Too High for this. But even with this one, I think it looks pretty nice on my lid. It was just kind of more annoying to work with. So I guess at the end of the day, if it still looks good, I'm fine with it. I wouldn't necessarily, you know, if I had to repurchase this as single shadows, I probably would skip over this one. But this one not being as good as the others wouldn't be enough to deter me from rebuying this palette in a scenario where like I had to. So I guess my first impression is thumbs up. I like this. I'm pretty happy with this. There's going to be more content with this to come. As I said, I want to kind of try to dupe this with my single shadows and see what I have that compares to it the best. And I also want to make a couple looks with this. If those sound good, please give me a like, subscribe, stick around, and then you'll see those very soon. And that's everything for today. Thanks for watching. Bye.